Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, I'm going to show you the new Armis Knife and Tool Predator XL. It is sweet. I love it. I get my Edgy American Knives Junkie back, and man, it looks better than ever, and it's wearing a beautiful leather sheath from 1931 Leatherworks. And then I want to ask you to name your top 3 knife designers. Tonight, we're naming names. Who are our favorites? I want you to tell me that. And of course, we'll do a pocket check. I'm going to show you what the new, what the March 2026 Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway knife is. And that's coming up next week, actually, on the 19th of March. We'll be giving away something really sweet. You probably saw me unbox it last week. And it is very, very, very fine. But I have to let it go. And I'm letting it go to one lucky Gentleman Junkie, and I'll show it to you here in a minute. Also, we're doing an all-access giveaway tonight. Again, another giveaway of this beautiful knife. This is the Scythe, designed by DC Blades and produced and marketed by Shieldon. This is actually the Shieldon Blades Scythe, designed by DC Blades, not the other way around. I have a bunch of DC Blade knives that are produced by Shieldon, but this is under the Shieldon shingle. And this is their first design that went to press. It is beautiful. I love this knife. I have this in a titanium frame lock, nicely contoured. It is beautiful. It's also a reverse tuxedo, sort of. So it's got the black blade and the silver handle, silver titanium colored handle. This one is 154 cm blade steel. And this comes to me thanks to Dirk Pinkerton. He sent me a box of knives to check out. He said there are a couple in there for giveaways, and this is one of them. And what a generous and awesome giveaway knife this is, I gotta say. This is one of my favorite and first folding Pikal knives, and it's just beautiful to look at. That hawkbill blade is just gorgeous. So we'll be giving this away. Hashtag knife in the chat is all you need to do. And then at some point after the hour, we will give this away. I always promise a certain time, and I always blow it. So I'm not going to promise this time. Marco, how's it going, sir? Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Marco, how you doing? I'm fighting cottonmouth tonight. I feel like I've been sucking on corduroys. James Hart says, I am also here. James Hart, it's awesome to have you here, man. Ground Fog, good to have you here, Ground Fog. James says, but frankly, I don't do much. I don't know much about knife designers. I hear you. Like, for me, as someone who's always been kind of creative, I always want to know who made what. Who's the director of that movie, or who designed that sweet Italian car? So if it comes to you, let me know, or tell me the design, tell me the knife, and we'll tell you the designer. Have a nice day. Great to have you here. Ernest Emerson, Bo Randall. Oh man, I want more too. And Ryan Johnson. Wow, that's awesome. There are more, of course, and new ones just an interview away. No kidding. But this is a great lineup. Bo Randall, Ernest Emerson, and Mr. RMJ. Dan Stan, EDC. Nice to have you here, Dan Stan. Top 3 knife designers would be Leo Espinoza of Tops Knives, Sal Glesser of Spyderco Knives, Eddie Martinez, Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy. I don't know who Eddie Martinez is. Please tell me, Dan. And in your answer, please put Eddie Martinez so I don't have a senior moment in front of everyone. What's he talking about? Matholomew, good to have you here, Matt. He says, happy Thursday Night Knives, Bob, Jim, and Junkies all. In my limited awareness of the huge community of designers, I base my 3 on what's in my collection. That puts Demko, Laconico, and Pinkerton at the top of the pops. How sweet. That is awesome. Two of those are in mine, pretty much. I think 2 of those are in mine, for sure. OG Blade Reviews, nice to have you here, Dave. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Top 3 designers are Dirk Pinkerton, Bob Terzuola, and Alan Olishowitz. Man, damn, Dirk is in some fine company here and well-deserved, and I like all 3 of your choices. Nicely done, sir. Patrick, good to have you here, Patrick Gierlowski. Patrick says Greg Schaub, John Sorensen, and Tim Kell. Okay, Tim Kell, totally. He would probably be my third. But John Sorensen, I know the name, but don't know who that is. And Greg Schaub or Schob, I don't know. So, yeah, you guys need to educate me. Are they custom makers or what? James Hart says, okay, the only knife designer I actually know of is Blackie Collins. He's a good one, a classic. I have a blade he designed called the Frisco Shiv by Gerber. Awesome. From back in the 1980s. I wish production knife companies were still making knives called the Frisco Shiv. I guess they do make knives called like the Assassin, like Kaiser, but it's a little EDC knife. Mr. Mouse, how you doing, sir? Mel Pardue. All right. Chris Reeve. Nice. Oh, Sal Glesser is a great answer too, Dan Stan. Yes, indeed, Sal Glesser's way up there. Cesario, how you doing, my man? Oh, there's another beautiful sheath. Let's see. Cesario says, good evening, Bob, Jim, and good folks. I'm not fancy enough to have three, but I would love something from Lon Humphrey or Ed Calderon. Happy Thursday. Those are fancy. Nicely done, Cesario. Beautifully done. And it's cool to see that sheath for that Work Tough gear. That's awesome. I'm not a huge fan of the Work Tough gear sheaths, but I've never thought to resheath them. And now I have thoughts. Pardon me. Fishbag. Good to have you here, Fishbag. I love your, this is Craig. I love your new avatar. Looks awesome. Looks awesome. Hope you catch fish with that fly rod there. It says, evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkers. Oh, man. I like too many designers. It's hard to narrow down. But if I had to pick a top three, it would be Lynn Thompson, Andrew Demko, and Sharif Manganas. Great lineup. And I know that Sharif Manganas would be, I would imagine, I don't mean to speak for him, but he would be psyched to be in that company because despite the fact that he designs some really elegant, beautiful, one of my favorite knives from this past year, the Aurelia, despite the fact that they're beautiful and elegant, they're also super robust. And he takes his cues from people like Ernest Emerson and Lynn Thompson and Andrew Demko. He loves that kind of tactical stuff. So anyway, very, very nice selection. Lynn Thompson is a contender for sure, says Mr. Mouse. Yes, indeed, indeed. A great knife mind, and I dare say a great production knife mind, though I don't like to put such a fine point on it. But I got to say, without Andrew Demko, no, he still would have had an awesome company before Andrew Demko. But with Andrew Demko, they took a quantum leap. They really, really did. So I almost put them together like Pink Floyd, Roger Waters, and David Gilmour to me. I mean, I know there are other guys. But, you know, when that creative coupling split, it wasn't the same. So anyway, I think the pairing is important. Excuse me. James Hunt, nice to have you here. James, hello all, he says. Well, hello, James. Jacob Vargas, good to have you here, sir. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and all the knife junkies. And Jacob, I think you got something cool, and I think I'm showing off something I got cool. I think we got something cool from the same guy. For me, it was a retread of a knife. Tiberius too, nice to have you here, Tiberius. Ken Onion, I like a lot. Yeah, Ken Onion is hard to argue with. Matt Maurer, what up, Bob? How you doing, Matt? Great to see you here, sir. Sean Clark, good to have you here, Sean. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Happy Thursday night knives. Got my first Hawk knife this week. Got the Hawk Talon, nice in 3X carbon DLC blade. Loving it. Oh my gosh. Wait, what's 3X carbon DLC? Does that mean it is super black and super tough DLC coating? Anyway, congratulations on your Hawk purchase or acquisition. Shadow Slayer, nice to have you here, Shadow Slayer. I'm going to have to say that Ben Peterson is my favorite designer. Shadow Slayer, with a name like Shadow Slayer, that comes as a surprise. And I mean that as no diss to you or Ben Peterson. I like his knives. And Shadow Slayer sounds like you would want a sword. Yeah, Ben Peterson's knives are nice. That latest Lander looks really nice, and I like that one because that's kind of more in my size wheelhouse. Benedict Odie, nice to have you here, Ben. Junkies, good evening, all. Good evening to you, Ben. It was funny. I was just who was I talking with? I was talking with Captain Ricky, and he's the next interview coming out on Sunday, and he had the Terzuola pen from Tactile Turn, so it was really cool to see that. Well done, sir. Scott Winters, nice to have you here, Scott. Hello, Bob and fellow junkies from Virginia Beach. #knife. Well, thank you very much. He's looking to win this. I just want to remind you, it's the Scythe. #knife tonight for this Scythe. Lance Foley, great name, Lance. My top three are Kyle Royer, Jacco van de Bruinhorst, Jacco, probably, van de Bruinhorst. Like, I know how to speak Dutch or whatever this is. No. What is that? What is that? Dutch? And Richard Wu. Okay, Lance. I don't know any of these guys. Are these all? Who are these guys? I love their names. First of all, great names. Kyle Royer, I feel like I've heard of, but Jacco or Jacco van de Bruinhorst, I have not, and Richard Wu, I'm unsure of. So I like these names. Please give me some ideas. Come back with some idea of what those knives look like. Cat Scratch Knives. Hello, good to have you here with your guitar and your cute cat. Tyler Durkee, good to have you here. What's going on? What's going on with you, Tyler? Good to have you here, man. CCTV Spy Store. That sounds like a fun place to work. Liang Ma, very nice. Osprey Knife and Tool, also sweet. And Esnix. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's another thing. Ricky pulled out an Esnix. A beautiful, beautiful. Oh my gosh, those knives are incredible. His stuff is amazing, and so I'm with you on that. Vox Laconico and Demco, says Red Astrachan. Red, nice to have you here. And Vox and Laconico, interesting. I would put them on the same shelf. Like they both have a super clean aesthetic, and also one of those. Their designs are like undeniably nice to look at, undeniably beautiful, kind of like they're mathematically created that way. They're all beautiful. Anyway, Cat Scratch Knives says my top three designers: Craig Brown, Cody Eustler, and Mick Strider. Who is Cody Eustler? I'm gonna be saying this all night, and you guys obviously cannot. You're hollering at your screen. That's fine. You don't have to write this down and try and get me to understand who you're talking about just because I don't know. But all right, these are great. Michael Sawyer, nice to have you here, Michael, in that beautiful fjord. JB Stout, excellent choice. Matthew Christensen, oh man, and Shane Sibbert. Sibbert is awesome. I've tried to get him on this show for years. His stuff is just so cool. I would love to have a custom knife from him. I'd love to have a production knife from him. I don't even have the Adamas. I should just get that and let that tide me over. Sword XXXY, good to have you here, sir. Good day, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. The one got one of the Sneak Reaper Elvia utility blades in the mail this week. How cool. Those are cool. I think I know exactly which one you're talking about. And it actually uses the hooked utility blade as well. But if not, in any case, that sounds awesome. It's going to be a pick haul style box opener. Terminator Joe, nice to have you here, Terminator Joe. Good evening, brothers of the blades and sisters of the slash. Tomorrow is my birthday. Happy birthday, man. But off the top of my head, Gil Hibben. Oh, nice. To a point. Andrew Demko, and I'm going to put Donnie B all day. Very nice, man. That's awesome. Gil Hibben has some really cool knives early on. He went down the fantasy route and hooked up with United Cutlery. And to me, that's when his designs fell off. Ben says top three, Bob Terzuola. That's not just for job security, I suppose. Andrew Demko and Jesper Voxnez. Of course, I'm joking, Ben. Bob Terzuola should probably be on everyone's list. His stuff is outrageously amazing. And I don't have one, but I want to have one. I want to have one. Karen Slavin, nice to have you here, Karen. Hello, my fellow junkies. Hello. Just haven't been that curious about individual designers, but I am willing to learn. #knife. Yeah. To each his own. Sometimes, like I said, I'll see a movie and I'm like, who directed that? Oftentimes, I don't know who they are, but somehow I think that knowing that is valuable. Also, it's nice to know that this day and age, it hasn't been directed by AI. Carino1, nice to have you here, Carino. Greetings, Jim Bob and fellow junkies. Arizona doesn't do the daylight savings thing, and I got caught sleeping. That's funny. I forgot about that. That is interesting. Makes sense to me. An American Father says, Reason Bowie, Lynn Thompson, and Bo Randall. Wow. Yeah, that's meta. This is like reason or resin. I'm going to say reason. Sounds better than resin. 5-door, nice to have you here, 5-door. Greetings, Bob, Jim, and junkies. I'll take Ernest Emerson, Andrew Demko, and Sharif Manganas. Man alive. Very, very nice. Let's see. El Gatito Malo. Oh, so malo. Let's see. Metal Complex, Lefty EDC, and Tri-State EDC. Oh, that's awesome. Well, they've all designed knives that have been produced. And I know I like Tri-States, and I know I like Lefties, and I like all of them. But Devo knives. But I'm trying to think of what Metal Complex design. I can't remember. Sure, it was cool, though. Matt Maurer says Ray Laconico, Ken Onion, and Doug Marcaida. Very nice. I like that. That's a little something I wasn't expecting, but yeah, he's designed some cool knives. Hopefully, I get a chance to talk to him soon. Something might be in the works. Cincinnati EDC says, I don't think I know many designers. I guess Chris Reeve, Sal, Eric, and Ken Onion. LOL, happy Thursday, y'all. #knife. You probably do. More than you know. Oh, Sean Clark, I'm with you here. I would say Bob Lovelace, Bill Bagwell, yeah, and Bo Randall. That would be the classic, and they're all B's too, which is awesome. Northern Knives, nice to have you here, Mike. Hello, Jim, Bob, and Junkies. Happy Thursday Night Knives. Well, happy Thursday Night Knives to you, good sir. Terminator Joe says, funny you mentioned Work Tough gear because my primal is coming tomorrow. How nice. Primal. I don't know which one the primal is, though. Now I'm confused. I don't remember. I think it's the really, really awesome recurve Bowie that sits at an angle to the handle, and I love that. Sword XXXY says, top 3, Fred Perrin, Bill Bagwell, Ed Calderon. Manaj. That is a deadly combo there. Fred Ferbermeyer, nice to have you here, sir. Hello, Bob. Loveless, Randall, Gil Hibben, another Gil Hibben. All right. I think I know how old the Gil Hibben commenters are. Actually, that's not true. Terminator Joe, I think, is substantially younger than I am. But when I see Gil Hibben, I think of my youth. I loved some of the Gil Hibben knives, and I love the what was it called? The Bowie that was heavily recurved that was featured in Natural Born Killers. So cool. Brandon Maples, nice to have you here, Brandon. You look an awful lot like Sylvester Stallone. It's good to have you here. Demko, Chris Reeve, Ernest Emerson, a classic triumvirate there of powerhouses, and those could easily be my top 3. I'm not sure if they are because I have not committed yet. Adrian Fighter 35, nice to have you and your lovely one with us. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. I don't know many designers, so I'll just say Lynn Thompson, Andrew Demko, and Tim Kell, Bob DeMarco. Yes, I made the list. Thank you, man. I take it's for this. Woo! All right, thank you. Oh, that made my day. Shad, nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Ernest Emerson, CQC 13. Yes, Excellent. You're going to design. That's even better. Andrew Demko 8020 machine ground. Pardon me. And Shane Sibbert pocket rocket. I remember the pocket rocket was so huge when he first was making them at least 10 years ago. I remember that. And he said hashtag knife because he too wants to win the Shieldon scythe designed by DC Blades. So hashtag knife, and a little later on, we're going to do a random drawing. Thomas Wheeler, nice to have you here. Evening, fellow knife lovers. Thomas, every time I look down the barrel of that Glock, I think it's so funny. Every time I'm like, man, this week flew by. I feel like I was just looking down the barrel of that Glock. It's so funny. It's happened many, many times now. It really, like, time really flies. Like, I'm always like, Thursday already? Sweet. Terminator Joe says, in Lynn we trust. Indeed, in Lynn we trust. You look like Blade in that picture, by the way, with the sword over your shoulder. Angry Tom's hat next door. Nice to have you here, sir. I don't know a whole lot of knife designers. Tim Kell is pretty cool. Agreed. I think I'm going to sit back and learn from all you fine junkies. That's not a bad idea. Speaking of Tim Kell, I had this out today. Let me show you this out. I just had this in my pocket after I got home, on and off. Oh, look, I even have a Tim Kell Band-Aid on. But I had the DP1 on me. Such a great little knife. And this one has a Knives by Nuge logo on the backside because he's the one who did that awesome jute wrap on it. This is number 7 of 20. Bought this at Blade Show last year. I put the leather fob on there just to aid in drawing. And it came in this beautiful, sumptuous little Badger Claw Outfitter sheath. I love Badger Claw Outfitter sheaths. I think I have 3 of them now. 2 of them right in front of me, or maybe only 2. No, I think I have 3. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Scott Winters says, Michael Janich, excellent. Sal and Eric Lesser, and Andrew Demko, and so many more. Yep. Edgy American Blades. Good evening, guys. Good evening to you, Shane. And in honor of Shane being here, we're going to get to a state of the collection item. The Jake. Nice to have you here, Jake. Hello, he says. Hello to you, man. Oh, before I put this away, let me show you this. We were talking Condor knives the other day, and I said I only had I forgot about this one. And it's this really cool I think they call it the Nordic Sax. I really love it. It's pretty plain. It's got that sort of brute de forge look, and the handle is really light. The balance, it's blade heavy. You know, it's got a rat tail tang that protrudes from the back. It is a good knife. This is a knife I've cut myself badly with in the past, and but it's great. Stays in my sock drawer. This one is awesome, the Sax. But as I pull this off, just remember that, and then look at this. I just got this from 1931 Leatherworks and Shane of Edgy American Blade Works. He made me this knife. I showed it to you a long while ago. It stuck in his craw that there were a couple of things he got better at in knife making since he made it. He asked if he could tweak it. I said, of course, why not? And sent it back to him. He also had a new sheath made by our buddy from 1931 Leatherworks, and the sheath is frigging awesome. And I'll show you that in a minute. But let me draw this out. Here it is. It's the Junkie, the Edgy American's Junkie. And this is based on a design that I sent him. And I was just sending him a design. And he was like, let me make it. And he made it. And I mean, I'm pretending I didn't desperately want it. But I, to be honest, I forgot that we talked about it. And then one day he's like, I have your knife. And he sent it to me, and it was so sweet. And I loved it. And I kept it in my daily EDC bag. And then he, I guess he must have been watching when I showed it off at some point. And he did some tweaks. He did a lot of really great work to this knife. It looks amazing. It's full flat ground, incredibly sharp. Oh, Shane, remind me of the blade steel now. It's something ridiculous. And ate up all of his belts, and it took him forever to, was it S90? Took him forever to sharpen it, and he put a new edge on it. He really tightened up the handle, man. The handle looks beautiful. It's so comfortable in hand. It's so sharp. It's also I think it's got like a 62 HRC. It's so this thing is gonna just whoop ass, and I'm so happy. This edgy American Blade Works knife, man. I'm so psyched about it, and I think that is the one and only Junkie out there. And yeah, it's like Sax. It's a bit like a Yojimbo or whatever, but it's the kind of knife I'm into, And then this beautiful sheath. I was contacted by Terry of 1931 Leatherworks. He said, "What do you want in a sheath for this?" And I said, how do you want to carry it? And I said, I want to carry it. I want to be able to carry it at a cant on the belt, either side." And he did exactly what I was thinking of and put that sort of canted loop over it, and it is awesome. And of course, on this side, you have Shane's logo, edgy American logo, and on the back side, you have 1931 Leatherworks, Michigan made. So cool. I love that. I'm Michigan made. I was born in Michigan. And so me and the sheath, we have a lot in common. So anyway, here it is. The Edgy American Blades Junkie. Edgy American Knives, I'm sorry. Junkie. And it is razor sharp. Let me just cut something for you real quick before I put that away. But Shane and Terry, thank you so much. This thing is just amazing. Here, I have a piece of paper I'm going to cut with it. Let me see. Do this right. Oops. Oh. Incredibly, look at this. Ooh, this thing is so sharp. So sharp. A little awkward here, and it's a little sharp, and I don't want to cut myself on camera, but oh man, I'm very, very psyched about this. Thank you guys so much. Shane, thank you so much. This is beautiful, and it means a lot to me. It meant a lot to me before, but you're taking it back and improving it, making it even better. Means even more. And by the way, this handle material, this micarta, what kind of Kevlar micarta, something like, just also destroyed. He chose all of the most destructive materials on his belts and machinery. So thank you. I appreciate it. Come on, Sense. Come on, Sense. Good to have you here. Looks Common Sense? Come on, Sense. Come on. Who has the sharpest mind for making knives? Ooh, yes. Who has the sharpest mind for making knives? Yes, indeed. Yes. And the sharpest, no, and the pointiest, and the most pointed designs. Ronald Dobbins, nice to have you here, Ronald. Knife Junkie, I just picked up my third James Brand Barnes Integral. I almost have them all. Okay. I've always been a little... I've always kind of laid it on the James brand for being a hipster brand, but that's just kind of fun. But that Barnes is beautiful. That is a beautiful, beautiful knife. It's a little rich for my blood for what it is, but not for what it is. It's just a little rich for my blood is all I mean. It is a beautiful integral. I had a chance to pick one up at Blade Show, and it is awesome, and it looks beautiful. So. That's congratulations on nearly completing your collection. That's freaking awesome. So yeah, if there were any James Brand knife I could have, it would be that one. Kyle Kunle, nice to have you here, sir. Kyle Kunle of the great Klingenberg's Sharpening. I got to say it every time. He turned my Perfrico from a beautiful single-bladed dagger-like item, a single-edged dagger-like item, into a double-edged dagger, legit, and I appreciate it. Hola, weirdos. Oh, who's you calling weird? Ray Laconico, best simplistic designer of all time. David Lespect, he's awesome, and his French disciples. And I was stuck with all of them, not stuck, but I was in an elevator with all of them, or I don't know if it was all of them. It was David Lespect and two other makers, and one of them now whose name I can't remember. I was really into his knives on Instagram, and I recognized him by it. And Pigeon French. It was a mixture of English, French, and German. And I basically was like, "I love your knives." He was basically like, "Yeah, at the end of the day, fuck off." No, he wasn't. He was a very nice guy. But yes, David Lespect and those French makers are incredible. Cody Usler, honorable mention. Oh, Cody Usler was mentioned before, and I don't know who that is. I need to know. Scott Stills, Sharif Manganas, Prince, and Rotten. Yep, I could see all of the Scott Stills. I'm unfamiliar with too. This is great. I need to go back through these comments and look some of these people up. Jacob Vargas, yes, sir. Received in the mail today. Thanks, Edgy American. Yeah, I knew that. That's what I was talking about. Before I brought out the Edgy American Junkie, I knew that Jacob also had gotten a knife from him today, just because of an email that was sent out. Look at that. Oh, my God. The edge on this, unreal. All right. Benny Zad, good to have you here, sir. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Howdy to you. Happy Thursday night knives. My top 3 designers. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Les George. I can't believe I didn't even think of him. Yes. Les George, Rick Hinderer, and Chris Reeve. Yes. That's like a great mixture of the very old, not the very old, the old triumvirate and part of the new. I love it. Let's see. Staten Island. And no one has mentioned Bill Harsey Jr. He's definitely one of my favorites. Bill Harsey Jr. Got nothing from him on the table tonight, but his stuff is gorgeous. Staten Island Edge. Nice to have you here, sir. Hey, Bob, Jim, Junksters. So many designers I admire, but off the top of my head, Ray Laconico, Les George, and J.D. Vandeventer. Oh, very nice. Yeah, all 3 of those. But very different across the board there. Greg Vanderlip, nice to have you here, Greg. Good to see you, sir. D-Bad, Donnie B all day. Lefty, KC Knives, Fast, Tempest Knives. How cool, man. Yeah, these are all influencer knives. So Donnie B all day, and those beautiful big fixed blade knives he makes, and KC and Lefty. Sharp Obsession, nice to have you here, Sharp Obsession. Ray Laconico, Jeff Blauvelt, yes, Tough Thumbs. He does not get not that he doesn't get he gets a lot of credit, but yeah, you don't hear his name mentioned a lot on this show. And yes, I love Jeff Blauveld's stuff. And Greg Schaub, or Schaub, I'm going to say. And that's definitely a name I got to look up. He's been mentioned twice. Ronald Dobbins says, my next knife I am going to be getting is a Herman Micro Sting. Very nice. I have one Herman, and man alive, is that a beautiful and like fine knife. That's a fine knife. That's like a tuxedo knife. And as a matter of fact, yes, I know what I'm carrying this weekend. Not that I'm wearing a tuxedo, but I'm wearing a brand new suit this weekend, and I will carry that knife. It looks so cool. I'll be the belle of the ball. They'll all be talking about me. Mike Johnston, nice to have you here, Mike. Hello, Bob and everyone. Has anyone called out Ethan Becker? No. Not only is Ethan Becker an amazing and legendary knife designer, but he's an amazing and legendary cook and author. He helped Julia Child write the art of oh, you're all yelling at your screen now. The Joy of Cooking. I was gonna say The Art of Cooking. Oh, Sparrow Knife Company. Greg Schaub. Thank you, man. Oh, all right. Yes. I like his knives too. The Strix. Doesn't he have one called the Strix? Peter Recenti, very nice choice. Shane Sibbert and Mick Strider. Oh man, this is a Gen Xer right here. I know he's exactly my age. Shane and I, we have a similar perspective. El Gatito Malo says, tough Q because a design is only as good as its execution. Sometimes a design can be beautiful, but in hand it can suck, and vice versa. Yes, I would agree with that. And there's designers that'll have a one-hit wonder. Yes, that's true too. On your first point about ones that suck, that look beautiful but suck, it reminds me of how when you're a major product designer, whether you're whether you're an architect or, a product designer, they all design a chair. They're all known for their chair. And sometimes they're not even chairs that you can sit in. They're abstractions or whatever. They're design experiments. And sometimes you get that with knives. Like Gus Cecchini, sometimes I'm like, that's Gus's chair. That's his, like, look at what I can do. It doesn't necessarily mean it's like useful as this thing necessarily, but anyway. Shadow Slayer says, do you have any straight razors in your collection? I do, actually, and Jim just gave me one recently. I have 2 old straight razors. They're both stashed away when I had to move everything out of this room. They have not made it back in here because this room has not been the rebuild has not been completed in this room. But I do like straight razors a lot. I gotta say, I always thought when I was young, before I could grow a beard, I thought, when I grow up, it's only going to be a straight razor that I shave with. That never really panned out. And I also thought they made great weapons. As someone who's older, I think they make great weapons in movies, and no doubt you can do a hell of a lot of damage with a straight razor. I'm not saying you can't, but I would rather have something a little more useful, like a locking folder with a point that I could actually do a lot of stuff with, and then if I had to fight with it or use it as a weapon, I don't have to worry about it folding on me. And those straight razors, you're really gripping the ricasso, and it's small, and I don't know, and you can't thrust with it. So yes, is my answer. Northern Knife says, I always respected the sheer number of designs Bussy did. Flint, a local Alaska guy, had some clean designs, and the engineering prowess of Shirogorov impresses me. Yeah. Speaking of Shirogorov, yes, him and who's the Russian guy, the Belarusian guy that I love? All right, we'll get it. We'll get it. He designed the 045 for ZT, 0452 and the 0450, and his name is on the tip of my tongue, and it's Russian sounding. And El Gatito says, and there's designers that a lot of really good designs, but are essentially a remix of the same thing. That's true. That's true. Damn. Dmitry Sinkovich. Thank you. That was going to drive me nuts. Ira, good to have you here, sir. Good evening, buds. I like Lynn Thompson, Turner CNC, yes, and Ed Calderon. Hard. Hashtag knife. It's just, I love those knives. I think they do this now. I love knives. Doesn't look like a heart to me. Dragoon, nice to have you here, Dragoon. Azo, Pinkerton, Laconico. I think Azo is the guy who designed the sheep's. Oh, no. HCL Salt, nice to have you here, sir. I don't know many designers by name yet, since I'm pretty new to this, but Andrew Demko, James Williams, very nice choices here. And for Canadian, where I live, Ridian Gatrill. I don't know Ridian Gatrill. What kind of knives are those? Is that a custom maker? I say that every time now. Every time I don't know someone, they must be custom. Cincinnati EDC says Alex Steingraber, excellent. Matthew Verheim, is that a Ver Knives? Homer Zhu, just some others. Okay, very nice. Homer Zhu, I don't know those. I know Alex Steingraber, and I have one of his knives, and it's pretty sweet. But I want the folder. I do want that folder. Oh, that's nice. Lance Foley says Kyle Royer and Jocko are both Mosaic Damascus forgers who make all types of knives and swords. Oh, cool. They have YouTube channels as well. I will definitely have to look them up. I love zoning out to people making Damascus. Who among us does not love zoning out to people making Damascus? Richard Wu is the designer for Reich Knives. Wow, okay. Very nice. Lance, you look just like a young Ethan Hawke, if that is indeed is not a young Ethan Hawke. Ridian Gatrill. Okay. Oh, let's see. Oh. I like the one I like the French Connection slip joint. These are beautiful. Trappers. Very nice. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you, sir. Hobbyist, how you doing? Good evening, all. Well, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well with that bongo. Victor says, "Hey, Bob, Jim, Justers, so many night designers I admire. But off the top of my head, I go Ray Laconico, Les George, and Fisher Boys, Frank and Todd." Okay, very nice. Frank Fisher. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was thinking of Fisher Blades, but I know what you're talking about. You're talking about super high-end custom folders. Jerry C., nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Some favorite picks would be Lynn Thompson, Al Marr. Yes, that's nice. That's nice. Yes, the old Al Marr. Love that stuff. Bob Lovelace, Spencer Frazier, and Al Buck. Spencer Frazier, he's the guy who started SOG, right? He started SOG, so he did all the old, beautiful stacked leather, fixed blade, combat classic SOGs, right? Like not just the Mac V SOG, but the the Pentagon and the Recondo and all those other knives. Very cool knives. Mike Hauser says, "Hi all." Well, Mike, nice to have you here, sir. T-Kel, Night Stalkers, Bob DeMarco, Agent 001, licensed to defend. Yes. And Ken Onions. Wow, that's a hell of a company you put me there with. Ken Onion and Tim Kell, like it. Though Tim Kell is responsible for the handle of my knife, so I can't take full credit. Hero Sticks says, "Evening and cheers, Bob, Jim, and junkies." Well, good evening to you, Hero. Glad to have you here with us. As we are glad to have Brown Sugar with us. Good to have you here. Hello, Bob. How are you? I'm doing great. How you doing, Brown Sugar? Michael Elliott. How you doing, Michael? I've been sitting here pawing this all night. Michael Elliott is the designer of the Gunfighters Customs Gunfighter. Of that. There's his maker's mark, though, upside down. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. My top three, not counting me, well said. Jared Franklin, the maker of this knife. Tim Kell, and Bob DeMarco. Ah, yeah. Look at this. Mutual Admiration Society. I love it. Did I mention how much I love this knife? Let's see. Victor says, "Hey, Bob, Jim, fellas, hope you all are great. I admire so many knife designers, but off the top of my head, I just read this. Ray Laconico, Les George, Todd, and Frank Fisher." And Victor's got good taste. He's got nice taste, man. And I like the way you tend to go old school slip joint, new school locking folder. Hero Stick says Matthew Christensen, Michael Birchtree, and a couple of my favorites. Very nice. Yeah, both of those guys. James, nice to have you here, sir. Gaston Monescu. Happy Thursday. My first choice is clear. After that, it may be a bit arbitrary, but tonight I'll say Dmitry Sinkovich, Sergei Shirogorov, and Brian Nadeau / Sharp by Design. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so Dmitry Sinkovich, some of my favorite knives. That 0452 design is still one of my favorite profiles on a folder ever. And I love Shirogorov's, though I don't have one. I think the F95. But then getting to wait, Jim, go back. Brian Nadeau, you don't have to go back. Brian Nadeau and Sharp by Design. His arch nemesis to me is a perfect design. I'm not going to say the perfect because I believe there are several other perfect designs, but it is a perfect design. Let's see. Kirby Lambert, great choice, says Hobbyist says Kirby Lambert, and I say great choice. Rick Hinderer and JB Stout, also awesome. All of them, great. Greg Vanderlip says Gil Hibben 1992. Yes, the Highlander Bowie is one from Natural Born Killers, I think. Yes, I love that. And he also, in that movie, I think his boot dagger was a dagger that came out around the same time as the other Bowie. As the Bowie. What the hell was it called now? Imran Dean, nice to have you here, Imran. Jim, can you go back? Sorry. I don't know if it might be lost to time and tide, but I will look it up. Highlander Bowie. Yes, sorry. Highlander Bowie. Okay, thank you, Jim. 1992 Highlander Bowie. Yeah, I should get one of those. Now that I'm a big boy and I can buy knives all I want, I should get one of those. Northern Knives says Siebert does some really cool stuff. I stole a couple of his design cues for the Three Dog Knife Amok. I must have a Siebert design Benchmade MPR1 converted to ball bearing pivot. Oh, I'm sorry, MPR converted to ball bearing pivot. I don't think oh, is that the small one? I know Benchmade's made several designs by him, but I think one of them is like a little chode knife, if you will. Terminator Joe says, I'll be 41 come tomorrow. Happy birthday, man. 41, you're a babe. Babe in arms, sir. Still just learning to crawl. Used to draw a lot and was big on fantasy. I think that's why I like Hibbins' work. Plus, his pieces were in some good movies. Yes, indeed. Actually, speaking of the fantasy, I've just started following on Instagram Boris Vallejo and Frank Franzetta and Michael, what was his name? Michael Bean? No. Michael Moorhead, I think it was his name. Michael Morehouse or something like that. These great illustrators from the 80s and 90s for those books. Fantasy and sci-fi books that I didn't read, wasn't interested in reading, but I loved the covers. A good friend of mine was always reading those books, and I got into the illustrators. Cesario says, I'm certainly getting an education tonight. #knife. Yeah, have Google open, or better yet, have Arizona Custom Knives open and type these names in and see the knives. I swear, I love Arizona Custom Knives. I've never bought anything from them, but as a resource, if you want to know what a knife from a certain maker looks like, go there. It's like they get collections. They buy collections. They get originals from makers. They, at the end of Blade Show, they walk around Blade Show and vacuum up stuff from makers who haven't sold certain things. Like, they have everything, and it's so cool. So check them out. Nick Timpson. Birdvis Knives, says Hero Sticks. Never handled one, but Grail for sure. No kidding. And his videos where he puts the oil on the handle covers and then cleans it. Those are so nice. The reveal, the handle reveal. I should remember this because I don't think there are a bunch of people I never caught back up with once I got back on Instagram, and Birdvis is one of them, I think. Daniel Camarena, not the pitcher, for designing that Apollo Navaja, and 2 more designs for Shade Indonesia. Oh, cool. Yeah. I don't know Daniel Camarena, but I know those 2 knives. Hey, Bob, just a little friendly advice. Don't go digging for socks in the dark. What does that mean? I won't, but I got to figure that out. Don't go digging for socks in the dark. Lost Shark says, good evening, fellow junkies. Good evening to you, Lost Shark, Bob, and Jim. Hey, let me show you this, since I already showed you the other thing I got. Let me show you this other thing I have on loan, and this is going to Dave when I am finished. And I just received this 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Super awesome sheath, 1931 Leatherworks. Inspiring indeed, says Cesario. That's nice kudos coming from Cesario. Let me show you this thing. Dave, this is coming to you, and I'm going to be posting, I'm going to be putting this in the mail either tomorrow or Monday. And you're like, yeah, I've heard that before. But this time, my video is already shot. It's done. It's beautiful. I love this knife, and I want to send this to you, especially considering how long it took me to get the last box to you. Because usually, like, if you're, oh yeah, right, okay, thank you, got it with the advice. You're right, that is good advice, actually. Okay, so this thing is beautiful. This is called the Raptor XL, and this is an old design of Michael Grasso's of Armis Knife and Tool, and he resurrected it, enlarged it, put a swedge on it, and refined it, and it is really awesome. I love this knife. If you remember, I got this one here. This is the Armis Knife and Tool VSK 1. Now, this was the first knife I got from him, and I think the first knife he ever the first knife he went large with. Certainly the first knife that got my attention, and it got my attention when Dave of OG Blade Reviews showed it to me, exposed me to it. Check out Armis, and I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. But very, very comfortable, a great knife, excellent blade design, centerline point on that drop point, double finger partition that I actually love, and then a great place to put your thumb. Really, really excellent with the ambidextrous sheaths. I have a couple of other sheaths that he makes. I'll show those in a second. But this, as a follow-up to that, is really, really good. It is really good because it's a different style of knife. It's a little bigger. It's a little more of a combat/field knife than self-defense knife. And it's got this smallish handle, so it can easily be concealed, but really nice in reverse grip. That double finger partition, again, doesn't bother me at all. It feels very comfortable on this knife. So I would have to say Michael Grasso is very good at making a double finger partition knife. And I had the stats around here, and I think I moved them. But that's this one right here. Sorry, this one right here is in 5160, just made from a piece laying around his shop. But they will be offered in AEBL, and I don't know what the price is. I think he said 61 hardness. Is that right? 61, I believe. But the swedge can be sharp or unsharp. And if I get one of these, you know, it will be sharp. And look, oh man. And then you just get this beautiful textured handle. Really, really awesome. I'm really happy and honored that Michael sent me this to check out. And I'm excited to hear what Dave thinks of this. I think he'll love it too. And by the way, this non-ambidextrous sheath is really outstanding as well. Let me show you real quick a couple of his other. This is a sheath that I got for his mini VSK one, but it fits the Amtac Northman perfectly. So I got that. And then, of course, his steak knife or paring knife sheath. You just take this with you on the airplane. When you land, you go to a grocery store, buy a steak, cheap steak knife or cheap paring knife, and use that sheath while you're in that city. When you leave, you know, get rid of it and keep the sheath. So very cool stuff. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you so much, Michael, for sending me this to check out. I really dig it. And I did a review of it, and I will put it up online. I mean, not really a review because I haven't used it, but, you know, a close-up when we talk about it. Oh, my gosh. Okay, 65 HRC Crewwear, sharpened by Klingenwerk. Oh, my gosh. I forgot about that. Okay, hang on. Let's look at this again. So the Edgy American Blades, the Edgy American Blades Junkie is 65 HRC Crewwear. That's what it was. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. I knew it was a very high HRC, and I knew it was tearing up your belts and just, but man, that's awesome. And then you sent it to Kyle Kunley at Klingenwerks, and oh my God, it is razor sharp, sticky sharp. Very, very cool. My second Crewwear knife. The other Crewwear I have is my Steingraber Performance Knives Shark. Great knife. Let's see. Ichthiander. Good to have you here, Ichthiander. Hey, guys, he says. Hello to you. Okay, I just had to take a sip of water. Hello to you. We're talking about our favorite designers. We're about to give away this Shieldin Knives scythe designed by the good guys at DC Blades. I'll be giving this one off. Fred Ferbemeyer says, I know I used my 3, but I just got to add Rainy Valaton. No, you're allowed to say as many as you want, really. Did Winkler make the list? Not yet, but he has now. Yes, Winkler is a great choice. Terminator Joe says, people always tell me I look like Blade. Plus, Wesley Snipes is the same height as me, but I'm not an actor. Well, I mean, you got your own look. Northern Knife says, I always like the Skagel designs from Jay Baring. Yes, yes, those are beautiful, and I've held those in hand too. Do love Hogtooth, by the way. Ah, yes, Hogtooth, one of my absolute favorites. Actually, spoiler alert, that was my ESK today, was a Hogtooth knife. Kyle Kunley says, great job, Shane and Terry. Shane, Terry, and Kyle. It's like this is like a Thursday Night Knives collaboration, because my design inspired it. Shane made it. Kyle sharpened it. Terry made the sheet. It's beautiful. Yeah, Kyle's edges never disappoint, says Shane. I agree. Michael Elliott, I would also like Mike Franklin and Greg Wegrisky. Wegrisky. I don't know how you say that. But okay, Mike Franklin and Greg were okay. I think I know who you're talking about. Well, in Mike Franklin anyway. Jason Breeden. Yes, excellent. So Bill Harsey, Jason Breeden, and Angus Trim. I love the name Angus Trim. I don't know his work, but I like his name. Jason Breeden and Harsey, two kind of older school guys. And I'd love to have a Breeden as a Breeden knife. Ben Odie says, Bob, will you be at Blade, Texas? I will not be at Blade, Texas. Nope. Ben, will you? Oh, everyone, actually, whoever will be there, kind of chime in here so you can all kind of connect while you're there. Jeff Wright, good to have you here, Jeff. My three are Dirk Pinkerton, Bastinelli, and Bantang. Wow, Bantang, that's good. That's a name I have not heard in a long time. We don't talk about him much. A lot of titanium self-defense knives, razor sharp. Let's see, he does a lot of Bastinelli's a great designer too. But he does a lot of like super sharp chisel ground titanium self-defense knives kind of things. Scott Stills isn't my favorite designer, but he's the best maker in the business by a long shot. If you know, you know. Huh. Scott Stills, hey? All right, better write that down. If you know, you know. And I want to know, and it's apparent I don't know a lot. Scott Stills. Underlined it thrice. Saint Ranger, or Saint Ranger 1959. Ranger, nice to have you here, sir. Puma case Swiss Army knife. Very nice. Puma, okay, I have plenty of Swiss Army knives, plenty of case knives, including a couple of old. No, I don't have old ones. My old one is a Boker. But the Puma, I would love to have a Puma, like a Puma hunting knife, that one with the cool belly at the end, the recurve. Edgy American Blade says, I wish I could take credit for that edge, but we all know that's Kyle. Well, he did a fantastic job, and especially up at the tip. Man, that's got to be hard, sharpening at the tip of something that comes to such a fine triangular point and then have it perfect. Oh, man. I'm psyched about this knife. Dion Page, nice to have you here, Dion. Hello, King Junkie, Jim, and all you junkies. I'm late, but I made it. Dion, it's okay. We're giving this one away tonight. Raylene, nice to have you here. Hello, King Junkie. Hello, nice to have you, Raylene. So either one of you can win this one if you hashtag knife. And this would actually make a great one that you drop in the bag, in the purse, and if you need it, most likely you need it like this to open up an envelope or something else. But in case you have to open up anything else, you can grip it like this. It's nice and small. It'll fit your hand nicely. So hashtag knife, people. Everyone, hashtag knife. You too, Raylene. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, Andy at Rosecraft is killing it. I have a little Congress slip joint in my hand. It's very nice. Yeah. They just keep coming out with really sweet knives. And they all seem to be a lot of clip points. I love the clip points. I'm not complaining. And I don't have many of them. And I got rid of one of them. So my Rosecraft, I'm down to 3 Rosecraft. Edgy American Blade says, Bob, you should interview Scott Stills. Not only is he next level, He's a great guy. All right, I'm gonna have to. I will reach out to him, check him out, see if he's down. Mars Capone, nice to have you here, Mars Capone. That dog is so cute. Ryan Johnson, RMJ Tomahawks are my jam. They're so cool. I love the Defiant 7, Les George M320 trench knife. Yeah, that's a beaut. And I own lots of Spyderco, so I guess I love Eric and Sal. Great grouping. Oh, as is this. Nick Chuprin. Nick is the guy who machined this. He's been machining knives for TKL, and his work is exquisite. But he's also an incredible knife maker of like super high-end custom handmade knives, and they're gorgeous. Peter Recenti, you could say the same about Peter, and Bartosz Herman of Herman Knives. Bartosz, I'm not sure how you pronounce his first name, but yeah, again, beautiful, refined, gorgeous stuff. Will B, nice to have you here, Will. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. I have to say, Elliot Williamson of Ferrum Forge, Tim Kell, and Mike Emler. Wow, awesome. Elliot Williamson and Mike Emler. Those are that's great. Zachary Schmidt, nice to have you here. Zachary, Lynn Thompson, Tim Kell, and Mike Stewart, and Bob DeMarco. Oof. Thank you, man. Thank you, Zachary. Right up there with Mike Stewart, Tim Kell, and Lynn Thompson. Honorable mentions, Ernest Emerson and Bob Terzawola, Tactical Folder Godfathers. Zachary, you flatter. You flatter. Let's see. Edgy American Blades says, apparently China thinks Mick Strider is the best designer too. They've made millions of clones. Oh, gosh. Yep. So here's a question. If you get a clone and you don't know it's a clone and it's really well made, does it matter? Does it really matter? Just a question. Mars Capone says, how about Ed Calderon's mom? That Elvia knife from Copus Knives is wicked. Yes, it is. I almost pulled mine out tonight. My Sukamaki wrapped one. Yeah, it is. But she was just using a fruit knife, you know. Let's see. Kyle Conley says, small, difficult to hold, and tough to thrust with. Shane, he's talking about you. That's funny. Hero Stick says, also love T. Kamihura out of Hawaii. He was a Forged and Fire favorite of mine. He's also an Instagram favorite of mine, and it looks like his cooking is just outrageous. And Kamihura, I have to remember to look him back up. Yeah, he's awesome. Let's not forget Hattori Hanzo. Oh, we haven't. We just dare not speak his name. Hero Stick says Jake Wright and his partner are coming up with some killer designs at Luft Concepts as well. Jake Wright, you remember him, Bearded Gear? He had a channel called Bearded Gear before he, I think he's not doing that anymore, and he's just straight Luft Concepts. But I have not caught up with their recent stuff. I want to see what they've been doing. I'm sure it's awesome. He had really good taste. Cincinnati says, I have an SPK Lamia. That's the one I was talking about. I want that knife so badly. And it's amazing. Pricey, but amazing. Yeah, I'm sure it's, relatively speaking, worth it. Can we give Chris Tanner some love too, says Terminator Joe. Chris Tanner of Prepared Mind 101. Yeah, he's got some cool designs. Yeah, he's got that cool long-handled kind of Bowie knife for work tough gear. He's got a couple of cool ones with Bark River knives. He's got a lot of great designs out there. Lost Shark says, I sent you an email of my first generation Cold Steel Spike collection to help everyone realize the difference between the two productions. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to find that. I've got a lot of email to go through. Sorry, I haven't missed it. Sorry, I have missed it. I will. I'll call it up. But just in case you need to know right now, the first spikes had a 1/4-inch width blade. Can't forget Lucas Burnley, and you can't. It had a really fine cord wrap. The new ones are a little bit thinner, have an integrated guard on a full tang with faux G10, just glued on there, no mechanical connection. They are great. I love them. I love all the spikes. Jeffrey Wright says, oh, forgot Nemoto. Don't know his first name. I don't know who that is. Nemoto. Dion Page says, the mole sect is killer, King Junkie. Thanks. You're welcome. Don't thank me. Thank Dave of OG Blade Reviews. Yeah, it is big, beautiful, and just a gorgeous knife. Joe Watson, yes. Roger Pearson, yes. T-Kel, yes. Jacob, that's a great lineup. That's a great lineup. Kyle Conley says, Bob, the Arch Nemesis is one of the best daggers ever, but I think it was topped by the custom one GTC did. GTC. I did not see that. I'm going to have to look that up. Huh. Hero Sticks says, got to give a nod to Ben Belkin as a favorite too. Oh, absolutely. All right, guys. Oh, Shadow Slayer says, if you have to start your collection from scratch and only had $150, what would be the first knife you would buy? Oh my goodness gracious. For $150. First knife I would buy. Oh, okay. All right. Give me time. Give me time to think about this, Shadow Slayer. Give me time to think about this. I would get a Cold Steel. I would get a Cold Steel Recon 1. That's me. I would get a Cold Steel Recon 1. All right. All of that said, let's get to a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
All right. In my front right pocket is, I haven't shaken this out of my pocket since I got it. I love this thing. This is the Microtech SOCOM Elite Ramlock. And it's a beauty. It's a beauty. I love the SOCOM Elites. I love the whole SOCOM family from Microtech. Pardon me. And when I saw this one come out with the Ramlock, I was like, oh my gosh, I got to have it. And then when I saw the clip point blade, I freaked out because despite that giant choil, which at first stuck in my craw, I must admit, but that clip point blade is so reminiscent of the very old or original SOCOM clip point blades, and I just love it. I fell in love with it. Had to have it with the silver flats and the black bevels and the whole. I love the billboarding. I love that giant logo there. I have that logo on my car. I have a couple of stickers on my car, and that's one of them. I just think it's a cool logo, period, for whatever. But the fact that it's also the logo of one of my favorite knife companies takes the cake. This is very smooth, this Ramlock. I do have it a little tighter than I intend to have it once I Loctite it, because yep, I've been using it so much, this has been backing out, and I just have to Loctite it up. So I just tightened it up. So ordinarily it swings shut, but right now it doesn't. It's just, you got to shake it. But really awesome knife, made of aluminum here, and then you have the deep carry pocket clip. Really nice handle. The frag pattern is nice and grippy. And yeah, I love everything about this. So this was in my front right pocket today. Even the choil doesn't bother me. I've been carrying the sharpshooter so much, or I'm sorry, I've been carrying the gunslinger jack so much recently that today I decided, because I did my video for that, I had my other sharpshooters out, the knife that was inspired by. So I carried this today. This is a beautiful one. This is from the second run of sharpshooter jacks. And sharpshooter, of course, because it's on that gun stock handle there. Love the feel of a gun stock handle. The way it widens out for the two smaller fingers kind of gives you, it enhances your grip towards your pinky. And then, of course, nice big clip point blade there, 3-inch clip point blade of S90V blade steel, full hollow ground and DLC coated. Just beautiful with the black bolsters and that deep blue camo carbon, or is that camo carbon? One of the exotic carbon fibers. Just beautiful. Next up on my belt, I intended to carry the 001 today. I grabbed this, put it on my belt, and ran thinking it was my 001. Lo and behold, it was my 007. It's like, oh, bummer. You know what I mean? One sweet knife mistaken for another. I got to say, this thing is so cool. I love the 007. I don't carry this enough. I have to start carrying this again. When I first got it, of course, I was carrying it a lot, but different things have been rotating on the belt. But I gotta come back to this one and spend more time with it. It is so sweet, and that point, I gotta say, though very, very pointy right up at the front. The blade still maintains quite a good bit amount of width right up to the tip, as you can see, or right to within about a quarter of an inch to the tip. So really good thickness behind the tip. And then that swedge and those bevels. This just slips into whatever you're cutting so easily. If you want to get 10% off your purchase, go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/TKel. If you like TKel knives, you can get a 10% off on your purchase with coupon code KnifeJunkie at purchase. So go check that out. I highly recommend it. I can't recommend TKel knives enough. I love them. I love them. They're awesome. All right. And lastly, someone mentioned hogtooth knives before today. My emotional support knife was the beautiful and deadly Hogtooth Knives Fighting Bowie. So for emotional support, I carried this, and emotional support it did indeed bring. W1 tool steel and beautiful hamon there. The Bagwell-inspired Devil's Horn guard there. It says Luke 8:17. Hogtooth knives. Ringed Gidgee wood from Australia. And then silver, sterling silver studs for kind of locating and indexing. They're not just to look nice, they do have a purpose. So this and the beautiful leather sheath, of course. Matt is an expert at leather, and man, I love his sheaths. So this is what I had with me today. I say with me because I did not have this on me, and I also did have this one in my pocket for a little while, the little PD one. But this is what I had. You guys tell me what you had as I put mine away. This, of course, is the Hogtooth Knives Fighting Bowie, inspired by the great Bill Bagwell. Here is the 007, Agent 007 from TKel Knives, a collaboration with Tomas Alas. Here, of course, is the sharpshooter jack. And then in my front right pocket, the gorgeous new Ramlock SOCOM. There it is. What'd you guys have in your pockets? Let me know. Matthew Russell, nice to have you here, Matthew. Matthew says, Sal Glesser and Andrew Demko designs are what I tend to gravitate towards. Yeah, I hear that. I mean, especially for me, Demko designs, especially during the Cold Steel era. I'm all up in that. HCL Salt says, learning about the legend of Lynn Thompson and watching him bounce around the ring knife fighting was an epic learning experience, just a character. Yeah, and he's no joke. He is an expert at many different fighting arts. And he is fleet of foot. He's a big boy, but he is fleet of foot. And he can move fast. I would not tangle with Lynn Thompson. But also, he's a super nice guy. Check out my interview with him. I interviewed him a couple of years ago, and I'd love to have him back on the show. It was nice. It was about an hour and a half long interview, and he was so cool and forthcoming with all sorts of information about his past and his growing up, and his story is unreal. So yeah, check him out. Northern Knives says, I see a lot of Hibben mentions. He was an Alaska boy for a while. No kidding. I knew his son, Wes, legendary knife family. Yeah, and he was a black belt in Kempo karate, and he was good friends with Ed Parker. And so he designed 2 knives for Kempo. And one of them was one of them looked kind of like a 70s version. Like if you take a Randall knife and you put it through a 70s AI filter, That's kind of what the first Kempo knife looked like. So cool. I'd love to have one, and I totally missed. And then he made a second one that was more barong-like or more bolo-like. Also very, very cool. And I wish I had those. HCL Salt said, I'm so glad Cold Steel was the first company I was introduced to. Yeah, I mean, it's got everything. It really does. Now that they're doing a couple of like small, thin titanium folders, like they really have expanded, and they do have everything. Victor says, "Come on, Bob. I thought you'd get it immediately. You mentioned you cut yourself with that gigantic, very sharp-looking blade." Yeah, I know, dude. I know. Jim, I rely on Jim to usher me out of my senior moments. Yes, of course, the sock drawer. Luckily, this sheath works pretty well, Victor, so I don't expect it'll happen again. James says, had a tree blow over in my yard today. Wow, completely uprooted. I hope everything is okay, James. I think it probably is, or you wouldn't be here, but man, that's scary. So now I can test my new parang. That's awesome. I say it's scary because, about 40 feet from our house, we have about 120 foot tall tulip poplar that is absolutely gigantic, absolutely huge and old, bigger even than the tulip poplars at Mount Vernon, George Washington's Mount Vernon. So it's big. So I think of that thing falling, and I just can't think of it. Can't happen. Armis Knife just got on my radar recently. I want to try one of those. I want to try the ones he sells for $100. I'm not sure which one that is. But I can't, maybe it's this one, the mini version of this. I can say you will not be disappointed by his work. His knives are incredible. And I don't know if you follow him on Instagram, but he does them in very small batches, so they all get a lot of attention. Just like when you send your kids to private school. Todd Carr says, good evening, everyone. Todd, good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Northern Knives does make some incredible Hinder titanium scales. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, we were talking about those. I was worried he was going to get sued. Mikey Bobby, good to have you here, Mikey. Hi, everyone. How you doing, man? Hope the world's treating you well. All right, we have a knife to give away. DC Blades, I really like the Mantis. I don't know the Mantis. DC Blades. I have a good amount of DC Blades. I don't have exactly all of them. The Mantis. Maybe that's the fixed blade. I got one. I know I had one at Blade Show, a knife that was, I think it was nicked, or I know I didn't leave it. Somehow I don't have it anymore. But it's a fixed blade from DC Blades. Bobby Rains says, evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I was watching Bowie knife fighting videos. Very nice. Bobby, that's the perfect excuse. And it's nice to have you here, man. All right. I think it's time to give away this knife. Oh, I'm starting to get stuffy. So hashtag knife for this. Let me show you this. Let me first. Sorry. No one needs to see that. All right. Let's look at this. This is the Shieldon Knives Scythe, designed by Justin Carvin of Tier 1 Gear Reviews. I think this was designed just by him before he hooked up with Old Squirrel Knives. No, that's not true. Okay, this is Tier 1 Gear Reviews and Old Squirrel Knives came together to form DC Blades. This was their first production design. They did a number of fixed blade custom versions of this knife made by Old Squirrel Knives, and then they licensed the design to Shieldon. So Shieldon now makes this knife, and they have it in a bunch of different dress, if you want to say that. This one is in contoured micarta. What is that? No, contoured G10 with 154 cm blade steel. I have one that has M390 blade steel and titanium frame lock, both contoured. It came in an XL version, or comes in an XL version. This is the regular version. Just a great all-around EDC knife. Of course, optimized for self-defense and the reverse grip, but makes a just fine knife to do most of the stuff you got to do anyway. Kind of difficult to cut your sandwich with, but you can make it work. I know you can. All right. Hashtag knife. We're going to do this. Let's bring it up, Jim. 86 entries. All right. That's a pretty respectable showing. All right. Let's see who's going to win this. And whoever does win this, email me your address tonight. Do it tonight so you don't forget. To TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com, and I will mail this to you. All right. Let's do this in 3, 2, and 1. Here it goes. Here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Let us see. Let us see. Don't be hacked if it stops on you and then goes to the next guy, like Michael Young. Michael Young, you have won this DC Blades designed shield and scythe. Congratulations, sir. I am going to write your name on a little Post-it, and I'm going to put it right under the pocket clip because I'm old, and this is how we used to do things. Michael Young, please send me your address to TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. In the meantime, I'm going to put this Post-it under the pocket clip, and just know, Michael, this one is courtesy of Dirk Pinkerton. Thank you so much, Dirk. We appreciate it. A, and B, there is no box with this. So I will wrap it up nicely and neatly, as my grandma T would have said, and send it to you. Jerry C. Nice to have you here, Jerry. I think I may have already said that. Thursday Night Knives and some Knob Creek 12-year. How nice. It is Lent, so I am abstaining from but Knob Creek sounds delicious right now. I'm happier than a pig in shit. Everyone hit that like button. The Knife Junkie rocks. Thank you very much, Jerry C. I appreciate you, man. And salute to you. Enjoy that libation. Ben says, I'll be in Texas. Hopefully we will see you at Atlanta. Most definitely will see me in Atlanta. But I hope that some people here are going to Texas and that you check in with Ben. James Hart says, oink. Indeed. Keon GR. Keon, nice to have you here. And pardon the sudden indigestion. Greetings all. TJ Schwartz, excellent choice. Warren Osborne, that's the second for that. Ken Onion, maybe fourth for that. For me, watching my favorite show at 5 a.m. on Friday morning here in Greece. Keon, I love it. I love it. That's called a motivated go-getter. Up at 5, getting his fill of Knife Junkie before he goes out into the world and makes a difference over there in that beautiful, beautiful country of Greece. Scott Winter says, Bob, when will the Junkie be available for release? I don't know. Let's talk to Shane about it. If it's a knife you think is cool. I mean, Shane, let's talk about this. It is cool, isn't it? It is cool. I just made this for my own edification, or had that made for my own edification. But if he wants to add that to his catalog, I would be honored. Don't forget something. I forgot. Tony, I'm sorry. Imran said, would Tony Marfione make the cut? Oh, yes. I'm a fan of a lot of his designs and innovations. Most definitely, he would make the cut. I mean, he would make the cut on the amphibian alone. I love this. But all of the early 2000s Microtech automatics that you don't see anymore, Edged Mindset showed off. He just got a Vector, a Microtech Vector from like 2002 or something like that. Those were sweet. Yeah, he designed some really, really cool knives. Look up the old early 2000s, late 1990s Microtech automatic designs. There were some crazy ones. The Kestrel, I think it was called, with a hawk bill. There were some really cool ones. Check them out. Wilby says, oh, in that case, I have to add Elijah Isham, Walter Brend. Oh, yeah, definitely. Walter Brend is up there with the Bo Randalls and such. Dirk Pinkerton, Bastinelli, John Gray, Jason Knight, TJ, Tony Marfione, and Sebastian Berengi, designer of the Borka Blades Stitch. Well, this is, of course, the Borka Blades licensed design of the Stitch done by Microtech. Hobbyist, Boker needs to I couldn't agree with you more. I could not agree with you more. Boker needs to bring back the Marlowe Squale. I regret selling the one I had. I feel you 100%. I love that knife. That is a like my main, like if I could have any custom Grail knife right now, it would be a custom Charles Marlowe. That's my Grail folder knife, a custom Charles Marlowe, and the Squale or any of them. And the Squale that Boker made was just incredible. I have one of those, and I never got the smaller one, the Bullpup, and that looked so cool too. That was another Marlowe design, a clip point that Boker also made. Same dress, same. Oh, I should have gotten that. Over under pull. Nice to have you here, sir. Bastinelli. Tomas Alas. Ed's Manifesto. Very nice. Smoking Rabbit EDC says, hello, all. Well, hello to you, Smoking Rabbit. Late arrival tonight. Hello, Bob, Jim, and Dave. Todd Rexford. Very nice choice. Ernest Emerson and Tony Marfione. Marfione. Very nice choice. Pale Rider. Good to have you here, Pale Rider. Cool hat. 3 favorites, Dirk Pinkerton, Bobby Raines, and the Demko brothers. Yes. Zachary Schmidt says, I can't forget about Will Moon. Every iteration of his knives was the Iron Man designing a piece of armor. Zach, I invited Will Moon on the show, and there was always some controversy swirling around Will Moon, but I always thought his knives were cool, and I always wanted to talk to him because I liked the way he talked about his knives, and his response to me was like, thanks a lot, I appreciate it. It seems like you have a good show, but I'm getting out of this game. I'm not making knives anymore. F this, basically. And I was like, okay, well, nice. I'll miss you. Todd Carr says, Andrew Demko, Lynn Thompson, and Bob Terzuola for me. Classics. Angry Tom's hat next door. Carrying a clone would cramp my style. In the back of my head, I would be like, I have a fake knife in my pocket. Okay. Yes, I agree. But what if you didn't know? What if you didn't know and you loved it and you had it for years and you wore it to your wedding? And I was wearing this when my daughter was born. And I carried this when I, saved us from that, yachting accident, the kind of things that come up. And then, very, very late in the game, you learn, that's not a real one. What would happen? How would you feel about that? Would you say, doesn't matter, I guess, because the design worked great and the build worked great. So I guess it doesn't matter. What would you say? I'm just curious. We all learned recently, said Shane, never, ever ask Alex Steingraber to sell you a knife without winning a drop. Why? What happened? I didn't hear about this. Sounds like a good story. Todd Begg used to be my number one dream knife maker. Yeah. Now, and I really like him. Oh, stop hell. Yes. Mike Johnston. I really like, but now for my tastes and how they've evolved in my old age with Todd Begg's designs, too many notes, a little too many holes drilled here and there, and a little too many. But I've incredible appreciation for his skill, design, and legend and all that. Sean Clark says, I have been looking at Bussy knives lately. Interesting and hardy looking. Might scoop one up. And how could I forget Bo Randall? Love me some Randalls. So you mentioned Randalls. I'll show you the one Randall I pulled out tonight. Strings, what's up, Strings? How you doing, man? What's up, Bob, Jim, and Knife Junkies? If the world. Happy Thursday Night Knives. Heading to Wyoming, nice, and North Dakota next week for 10 shows. That sounds great. Not looking forward to gas prices though. Yeah. Here they're going up. Clark Henry, $150. The Cold Steel 52100 Trailmaster. Clark, I couldn't agree more. We were talking Randall, so I figured I'd bust out this 16 special number 1. No, special number 16, number 1 fighter. I don't remember. It's the number 1 blade, but it's the number 16 knife. Canary SK says, carrying an artisan cutlery, Clio. Very nice. Very nice. Yes. let me put this away before I stab someone with it. Someone being myself. First folder I'd buy Spyderco Mannix in Rex 45. All right, so Shane, let's see, where is it? I had to. I pulled out the knife you gave me years ago now, a couple of years ago at this point. You are a huge fan of the Mannix and the Mannix and the Shaman, but you always said the Mannix edged it out. And you sent me this very generously with the S110 steel and the super incredible edge to sort of, push me over the fence into the Mannix camp. And I think you succeeded. I love this thing. So yeah, this is what I opened up my Edgy American Junkie with today. The Edgy American supplied Mannix. This thing is awesome. Mannix lightweight in S110V with that Stormgewehr sort of blue gray, Thunderhead blue, we'll call it. String says my top 3 designers would be Lynn Thompson, Dirk Pinkerton, and Anthony Marfione. Great choices. 4th would be some guy named Bob DeMarco. You probably never heard of him, though. Nice. I like the way you guys keep mentioning me. It makes me feel good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Karen Slavin says, just did some Gil Hibben research. He's made every knife Stallone movies have made famous. He actually did. Gil Hibben did do one of the Rambo knives. He did the Rambo 3 knife, was his design. Autumn Wind, nice to have you here, Autumn. Hello, Bob. Hello, all. #knife. Matt Maurer says the 007 is my favorite T-Kel by far. Awesome. I'm glad you like it, man. It's a great knife. It's a great knife. T-Kel knives. They make me misty, those T-Kel knives. They are beautiful. Miranda Wilmore, nice to have you here, Miranda. Hey, y'all. Hey. Oh, I got to tell you something, Miranda, since you said y'all. My young daughter, who's 11, has just decided that y'all is her word. And so she's still figuring out how to insert it in. So I'm a Yank. I'm from Ohio. My daughter's from, the northern part of Virginia. That's more like being in the north than in the south. So we're not much of a y'all family. And my daughter's just trying to just y'all. I'm going to have some waffles for breakfast, y'all. Dad, can you help me? That kind of thing. So y'all. Anyway, it's so funny when people try and jam things into their vernacular. I am trying to bring dynamite back. My brother and I are trying to bring dynamite back, and it's not working. Kevin Ward, nice to have you here, Kevin. Lynn Thompson and Ken Onion. I mean, yeah, excellent choices. Greg Wigrisky, aka Karambit Maker. I'll be at Blade Show, Texas. Cool. You and he will be there. Karambit Maker. He's awesome. Okay. Very cool. Those Polish names are very difficult for me, or not intuitive for me to pronounce. Bartholomew said, today's carry, Petrified Fish Viking. Nice. Real Steel Sylph. That word makes me uncomfortable. Orbital Knives, Large Callisto. Concept Bison. Nice. And ESK, Work Tough Gear, Atayal. Oh, Bartholomew. An excellent lineup today. In the pocket today, Crew Carta Native Chief. Oh, nice. Crew Carta Native Chief. So that's a crewwear crewwear blade with a micarta handle, Native Chief. That's the big one out of that series. That sounds like a knife I want. I got rid of my Native Chief and I miss it. In the waistband, Baby Eagle, or in waist IWI in, I'm not sure. Baby Eagle, I think I know what that is. And Nightcore Torch and a 1931 Leatherworks wallet. Very nice. Very, very nice. Baby Eagle. Is that the Israeli made? Is that from the same people who make the Desert Eagle? Todd Carr says Leatherman Surge and extras. SOG Power Pint. Swiss Army Knife Fieldmaster Cold Steel 8010 S35 VN. Kaiser Militon Nitro V. Demco Nano Shark 20 CV. Fifth Pocket. Northern Knife Works Hemlock, Olight i3T, and Arkfeld UV. Todd, hopefully you've gotten your knife by now. I sent it, I believe it was Monday or last Friday. So hopefully it's gotten up to you. Sorry for the delay. Sometimes the custom form is going to pick it up. It's what holds me up. Shadow Slayer says, today I'm carrying the Kaiser drop bear in green micarta, a Victorinox Spartan with micarta scales. Oh, very, that's cool. And a Lear Herman super tool. Oh, Leatherman. Lear Herman. I thought maybe that you got that at the Learing Center. A Leatherman Super Tool 300. I still have not pulled the trigger on a new Leatherman, just so you know. I know I've been talking for a couple of weeks. I need a new Leatherman. I haven't. And do I really need it? No, actually, I have a couple. And they get used when they need to be used. But I was going to put this in one of my survival packs. I've got all these survival packs, man. I just like making them. I like putting them together. Terminator Joe, maybe one of these days I'll give one away. Terminator Joe says, pocket check, today's first Espada XL and the newest Espada XL I got Tuesday. Excuse me. The Cold Steel Recon XL, the Immense, and my first buck, the 119 special I bought from Walmart. That's awesome. I love the 119. Did you hear that? My voice just cracked. 54 going on 14. What do you say, guys? Huh? Keeps me youthful. Edgy American Blade says, Cold Steel was responsible for me starting my knife journey, as with many of us, I'm sure. Yep. Well, yeah, pretty much. It was seminal, but it wasn't necessarily sorry, those bings just totally made me lose my train of thought. I know you were hanging on every word and will be disappointed. Jammin Parker, nice to have you here, Jammin. Evening, everyone. My three favorites would be Yoni from Compliance Edge, Fred Perrin, and Lynn Thompson. Yoni, that's a good choice. His stuff is gorgeous, so clean. His designs are so nice. So sorry, guys. James Hart says it was a small pine tree, but the wind was so bad out of the west. Yeah, that's so dramatic, just to have the wind so strong it knocks over trees. Ira Hayes says today carrying the CNC Voodoo Doc Chimera. Love this angled blade. Yes, that is a cool one. It looks kind of like a pistol grip, and some of them I've seen have double edge setup there. Folding Gin, Leatherman, and Combat Flathead. Oh, very nice. Who made the Combat Flathead? Desert Trance. Good to have you here, Desert Trance. The three on me today, Turner CNC Elvia, RMJ Sparrow, and a Paragon Warlock. Dude, nice. Very nice carry here with a bright something. Sorry, I missed it. Scott Bryant. Nice to have you here, Scott. Hello. With the bright blue that matches my Tundra. Oh, very cool. And I said hi to Scott. Terminator Joe says, that knife reminds me of the scythe knives the wolves had in Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. I did not see that one. John Schaaf, nice to have you here, John. Just got here. Laughing out loud. Well, John, always great to have you. And even though we're, pulling into the station soonish, you can always watch this on replay. Shieldon is the most honest Chinese company, says Edgy American Blades. They admitted all the knives are made by the same people, same place. Oh, really? You mean like between like their premium and their non-premium? What do you mean? What do you mean? Like every single? Let me know what you mean. Clark Henry says forever, Michael Young. Oh, hang on, guys. I forgot to show you this. Did I? No, I did show you this. Okay. I for a second thought I forgot to show you the Gentleman Junkie giveaway knife next week is the M390 in titanium, beautifully made pocket Bowie by Auxiliary Manufacturing. Just wanted to make sure I said that because I did say that, right? I did. Okay. Desert Trance says, awesome knife to win. Congrats. I have one, and it is rad. It is awesome. I have that, and I am lucky to have a number of pick haul style designs from DC Blades. Lost Shark says pocket check today was the Tops Windrunner on the belt, Civivi Terrax right pocket, Leatherman Wingman back left, Sharpie back right for prep labels, and Tops Mini Frog Market on the neck. How cool! How cool! I love the Mini Frog Market. I love the Frog Market. I love that shape. It's the chef's knife of Vietnam, I guess. I made one once and gave it to a buddy. The other week, someone asked about the Spyderco Essenza as a gentleman's knife. However, they should consider the Spyderco Charisma, a new release, as it doesn't have the large hump for the Spidey hole. Oh, very nice. Yeah, it's like, come on, we get it with the hole, man. We get it. New sub. Hey, Scott. Well, thanks, man. Glad to have you here. If you're new to the place, just so you know, every Thursday night, we're here at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For 2 hours, we talk live. We show off knives. I show off new stuff. Every once in a while, we'll have a guest. We give away knives because I have generous friends who give me knives to give away to you. And if you want to become a patron, go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/Patreon. All right, there's the pitch. Thank you for subscribing. Michael Young says, thank you. Love Dirk Pinkerton's designs. Yes, me too. Me too. And did I mention that Dirk will make us a handmade custom knife to give away right here on the show? I would buy a Junkie for sure, says Hero Sticks. Oh, cool. All right, Shane. Looks like people are going to want this knife. But when we reach 50,000 subscribers, we're at 45 and change. When we reach 50, Dirk has generously offered to make a custom knife. Doesn't have to be a cave bear like I have in my hand, but he will make a handmade custom knife for one lucky winner. And Jim is scheming a great way to give this away, and we'll tell that. Not this. This is mine. You can't have this. But whatever the knife will be, we'll have a special way of doing it. We'll let you know. And one lucky winner will get a handmade custom Dirk Pinkerton knife, which should be in every collection, I got to say, because he is amazing with the grinder. Hobbyist said, let me set this down. Hobbyist says, in pocket, Civivi Neurohaptic, the CMB Predator, and Ruger LCP in 380 ACP. CMB Predator, that's a cool knife. Neurohaptic is a nice knife. I had one of those. I sold that. The Ruger LCP. Now, I remember Nut and Fancy doing videos on that. He loved that gun. Colby Overhagen, right. Colby, how you doing, man? Nice to have you here. Is Marfione a collab? Well, Marfione, Anthony Marfione, is the owner of Microtech. He started it. He's an incredible machinist and a credible designer of knives. He has collaborated with others. Here's an example. He's collaborated with Bastinelli knives, and like this one is with Borka knives, and he's done other collaborations. And then his son has a company called Heretic Knives. He took a lot of what he learned from his father and started his own company. I'd love to make more, says Edgy American Blades. All right, this is great. All right, well, the birth of the Junkie. Jerry C says, Bob, I enjoyed the Victorinox compact article on the website. Oh, awesome. I totally forgot those have the little screwdriver and the corkscrew. I might also have to pick one of those up. Oh, they are so great. And they have the little straight pin. The pin, of all things, is so friggin' handy. And to have one tucked in your Swiss Army knife all the time is great. I love the compact. Victor says, so today in my leather slip, my GEC 85 cap lifter, and clipped to my right, the new Worksharp RMX thumb stud. RMX thumb stud version, $139 for a super thin M3 M390 blade magnesium integral. You kidding? No brainer. Magnesium integral. Magnesium. Sorry, guys. I'm totally unaware. falling apart. I'm totally unaware of the material qualities of magnesium. Do tell. I guess it's rigid enough to make a knife handle out of. Cesario says, got my Riot in front of me. My wild pig, got my 3-dog knife Riot in front of me. My Topps Wild Pig Hunter in my lap. And my wife busted out a couple of Gil Hibben knives. Oh, she's a keeper, man. I love this. Your wife is like, oh, all this talk of Gil Hibben. Why don't I go pull out our Hibbens? And you're like, honey, that's a great idea. I mean, that's the picture of domestic bliss. I love it. An American Father says, the day that I find out it was a clone, it would head down the road. Just me. I know. But what if, like, I think of my Microtech SOCOM Elite from 2013 or 12. And I think of how many times I've carried it and used it. And if I found out that was a clone, I would just say, oh, well, it's a clone. It would be like a splinter, though. It would be a splinter in my soul, just a little one. But I would turn it into a pearl. I would wrap it into my soul's mucus, wrap it up and solidify it and turn it into a pearl because I like the knife. Let's see. Trey Tyson. Nice to have you here, Trey. Ray Laconico. You're certainly not the first person to say that. He is an amazing designer. I only have one of his knives. Matsy, just probably for the Chimera clone, and Andrew Demko. And I don't care how wrong I am. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know, man, you're not wrong. Just follow your bliss, bro. Adam Cirilli. Nice to have you here, Adam. How's it going tonight from northern Wisconsin? It's going great. Oh, man, that's got to be beautiful up where you are. Northern Knives says, gotta go, junkies. Jim and Bob, thanks for the hang. Have a great night. Mike, have an awesome weekend, sir. Weekend starts here. You don't need me to tell you that. Have a wonderful weekend. By the way, as he's walking out the door, I just want to say that Mike of Northern Knives has 3-dog knife company. It's the custom knife wing, if you will, of Northern Knives. And if you go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/3-dog knife and use the coupon code KnifeJunkie, you can save 25% on all 3-dog knives, whether it's the Riot, the Champions Blade, the Mac, or any of the others. Go check it out. It's a great deal. Have a great weekend, Mike. HCL Salt says, knives are more expensive here, even when you account for the exchange rate. Could never find an Espada that cheap. Oh, that's so depressing. Dynamite. Yes, sir. Yes, Kyle. I can tell. Okay, Kyle, you start spreading it where you live. Everyone starts saying dynamite. You're in a meeting at work. They're like, yeah, Bob, we want you to take over the Johnson report. And you just say, dynamite. I can do that. And you can use it sarcastically too. Bob, we want you to handle the Johnson account from now on. Oh, well, that's dynamite. You know, I don't have enough on my plate already. So let's do it, people. Dynamite. If you can do this, my brother and I will be very, very happy. We've been at it for 10 years, on and off. An American Father says, Gil's shop is just down the highway from me, and he's an incredibly fine gentleman. No kidding. If you find yourself north of Louisville, y'all should stop in and say hello. And remember, Gil can also kick your butt, so be careful. Fishbag says, today was the 8010 Tonto, SR1 Tonto, Highlight Chris, 5 backs. Oh my gosh. Recon 1, Carbon Fiber Limited, Black Talon 2, Serrated, only way to go. That's not true. They're both awesome. The Lucky 2 and the Secret Edge Necker. I had that Secret Edge Necker, the little double edge. Wonder what happened with that. I must have given it to someone. Edgy American Blade says, yes, IWI, yes. What does IWI mean? The maker of the Desert Eagle, but the baby eagle is actually usable. It's beautiful, too. I always thought it looked like a beautiful gun. Todd Carr says, Bob's still in the mail. Usually 2 to 3 weeks delivery up here. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry it took me so long to actually get it in the mail to you. but I guess you can pour over the tracking number. Hero Stick says Brian Brown Jaeger M and the Picaroon Tools Jack Tar Little Fixie. What a great name. Jacob Green, nice to have you here, Jacob. Today's carry was the CRKT M21. Pardon me. Swiss Army Tinker with walnut scales. That sounds nice. A Victorinox Ranger Grip 78 and a Cold Steel Pocket Shark. Oh, Pocket Shark. That's the Sharpie. The Sharpie Impact tool, I should say. An American Father says, processed a couple of rams today with a Green River Works 4215. Wow. Okay, so two things. First of all, very classic knives. And man, my day was so different. And that's one of the very many beautiful things about this channel. Not about just this channel, but this is, I'm always griping about the internet and social media and how it's the ruination of humanity. But here we are, different folks, different strokes, but yet we can come together. I don't know what I'm getting at, but I just think it's cool. HCL Salt says, still carrying my VG10 Dagger Vendetta. It's a bit heavy and the handle's still, but the steel backspacer, but I still like a lot. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about with that knife. So the 6-inch blade can help off balance it a little bit, but they're still handle heavy because of the steel. Lost Shark says survival packs, aka bug out bags, are fun to make. They really are. I'm doing this right now. Actually, I got this little. My brother-in-law went on a little Maxpedition spree, and he bought me one of these, and I have one, and it's full of stuff I keep in my EDC bag. But this one, I was like, oh, maybe I should make a fire making kit. So I have a little fire making kit that I'm working on here just for fun. I got some of these little tinders under here that I made with the makeup remover pads and wax. And I got matches, a lighter, got this Tops knife here, ferro rod, got some fat wood. I just started. I got some other stuff coming I'm going to put in here. And then, of course, one of those foil blankets. And I just like, I like making those things. I just think they're fun. Adrian Fighter 35 says, today's carry was the Cold Steel 4MAX Scout for work and the Demco Armiger 4 Tonto Plain Edge for my ESK. I have an Armiger. I need to bust out my Armiger. My newest to me knife, says Jacob Green, is a United States Navy Mark I, which is kind of like, it's like a K-bar, exactly, basically. That was modded with a stag handle that I found on eBay for $39. Damn, I saw it was shipped from Alabama and thought, yeah, that makes sense. That's awesome. I love the stag. That's great. Critical Mass. How you doing, Critical Mass? I feel like I'm in a safe place. You are indeed, sir. I thought I was weird collecting so many knives. No. All right. So that assumption, we let go of that 8 years ago. So you're here. You're in the right place. Join us every Thursday at 10 here, and we'll talk knives. Usually it's a lot of me talking. I got a ton of knives to show off. They usually don't get shown off. But yes, you are in a safe place. Let's talk knives. String says, Bob DeMarco would move up my list if he gets that Yatagan into production. What Yatagan? You mean this Yatagan? Yeah, I know. I want this in production too. I got to whisper back into the ear of Tim Kell, who made, he liked it enough to make this casting and a smaller one. But he's got a lot on his plate to be picking up a brand new design. But yeah, it would be cool. It will be cool, let's say. Ira Hayes says, Dynamis Combat Flathead. I know you're familiar. I believe Winkler makes them for Dynamis. Oh, yeah, you're right. And Winkler makes another knife for them, too. Although I could be wrong. I know Winkler makes their own version, too. Yeah, and T-Kel makes one with a ring on it, which is nice. Knife Nut 69. Nice to have you here, sir. Hello, everyone. Carry was a Rex 45 Para 3 lightweight, custom Northern Knife Works dart, and American Blade Works DLT 45-degree slip joint. Oh, 45 degree meaning the half stop is 45 degrees out? Is that what that means? Desert Trance, my newest gem that I'm in love with is my Artisan Cutlery Wizard. That tie mask is so sexy. I don't know the Artisan Cutlery Wizard. I like Artisan Cutlery a lot. I like them a lot, but I don't know which one that is. James Hart says, so collecting knives can lead to a hole in your wallet. Yeah. On the Edge EDC says, hey, everyone, good to see you all. Well, it's good to have you here on the Edge. Great to have you. Lost Shark says, I second that on the Junkie. Awesome mini sacks. Yes, I'm going to pull it back out. And, man, I cannot say enough about how beautiful the leather is, too. And listen to this. Is there anything nicer than the creak of leather? Maybe the smell of tobacco. Hero Stick says, gah, the cave bear is one of my favorites in your collection, Bob. That is a true treasure. It is. He's talking about the cave, this cave bear, custom knife by Dirk Pinkerton. So awesome. So awesome. It's even great in just a plain old standard forward grip. Cool knife. String says, carry today right from pocket Boker Urban Barlow, left front Leatherman Signal on the hip Victorinox Ranger grip 55 in ebony black. Ooh, that sounds nice. I will take a Junkie blade with Edgy American Blades custom God of War scales. Oh, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. Ooh, there's something happening. Terminator Joe says, my abomination is a clone, but it's a wicked Espada XL clone. No. That question came up once when someone accused me of having a clone Raja 2. And I got all bent out of shit. Oh my God, what if it? And then I realized, like, first of all, if it is, it's a damn good clone. Second of all, it's a very strong one. And that y'all was just for your daughter, Bob. I really don't say that shit. That is funny, man. Thank you. Bob, looking good, bro. Thank you, Josh. Well, I don't even remember what I was saying. I'm sorry, guys. I'm tired. It's about time. An American Father says, I used to be an avid bug-out bag maker. Then I finally bought a homestead in the middle of nowhere. So now I'm an avid maker of get-home bags. Yes. Yes. When I lived in Brooklyn or Manhattan, the bug-out bag was so essential. Now, since I have a home, it's a little bit spread out. The bags themselves. I mean, we have bags in our cars, but our old bug-out bags have, I don't know. Yeah, they need a little re-upping because I've made so many of these great little survival kits. Desert Trance, some say hole in the wallet is a very, very safe investment. Oh, I say it's a very safe investment. I agree. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this edition of Thursday Night Knives. Thank you for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. I love the conversation, and I appreciate your giving up part of your Thursday night to have this kind of knife talk with me. Join us every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 2 hours. We talk knives live. If live is not your thing, join us on Sunday for our 1 hour interview show with knife makers, knife luminaries, etc. This week, it's with Ricky Hernandez. You know him as Captain Ricky. Great guy, and he's got a great channel producing some really excellent content. So join us then. All right. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Do have to mention this. Go to Patreon to check us out and see how you can become a gentleman junkie and win a fantastic knife every third Thursday of the month. We do a lot of giveaways, like every weekend, pretty much every week. But on the third Thursday, we give away something special to our gentleman junkies. Sign up for a year, get 12% off. All right. For Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying, until next time, don't take dull for an answer.